Just when I thought they couldn't get any stupider.
I think Warner Brothers they just want to fuck it up, right? Like just before we go out, they're like, let's just start pumping out stuff, get stuff into production to just screw everything up. Because I saw this last night and I couldn't believe my eyes. Stephen Colbert is writing the new Lord of the Rings movie set after The Hunt for Gollum. The fuck is this? Stephen Colbert is set to co-write the next Lord of the Rings movie for Warner Brothers following Lord of the Rings The Hunt for Gollum. The new film is tentatively titled Lord of the Rings Shadow of the Past and will adapt material from the early chapters of The Fellowship of the Ring that Peter Jackson's original movie skipped, including the Barrow Downs and Tom Bombadil. Peter Jackson and Stephen Colbert jointly announced the news in a video posted to social media. They did, and I didn't watch it because I can't listen to Stephen Colbert talk. Colbert will write the film with Philippa Boyens and Peter McGee, while joining forces with Peter Jackson, Fran Walsh, and Boyens, the same creative team behind the Lord of the Rings films. Colbert has long been known as a major Tolkien fan, so the project looks like a dream gig for him, especially with his late show ending in May, which is in 2 months, by the way. 2 months. Oh, can't fucking wait. The movie will focus on the fog on the Barrow Downs material from the Fellowship of the Ring, where the hobbits are trapped in a barrow white in a supernatural mist. That story also opens the door for Tom Bombadil, a character fans have wanted to see in the live-action Lord of the Rings movies for years. I believe Bombadil showed up in Rings of Power, but that's Rings of Power. No one gives a fuck. Shadow of the Past is set 14 years after Frodo's passing. So we're just gonna fucking kill Frodo. Awesome. The story is set to follow Sam, Merry, and Pippin as they retrace the first steps of their original adventure, while Sam's daughter Eleanor uncovers a buried secret tied to how the War of the Ring was almost lost before it truly began. This part right here, buddy. This was a big one here. I'm like, Sam's daughter uncovers a buried secret. Oh gee, I wonder. This better just be like fucking framework, right? We're framing it as set in the future, and then they're like, oh, but we're just gonna go back in time with a bunch of flashbacks type of deal. That's better be what we're doing. So then of course we have The Hunt for Gollum, which is set to be released on December 17th, 2017. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. So this is what the fuck, man. I don't like the idea of doing a sequel Lord of the Rings movie. There should be no sequel. Lord of the Rings is the end. Return of the King is the end of this. That's it. We don't go further than that. There is plenty of new movies and shows you can do of unadapted material from J.R.R. Tolkien's work that has not been done yet. You know, if you did the Silmarillion properly, that could make for a great TV show. That's what the Rings of Power was touted as, and it's garbage. It's just, you know, Lord of the Rings fanfic at the end of the day. But if you properly adapted other materials of Peter Jackson's work set in Middle-earth, you'd be golden. The War of Rohirrim, that could have been something good. Instead, they just made it a girl boss fantasy again. Because, you know, Warner Brothers is gonna Warner Brothers. They are America's dumbest company, after all. Even though there are plenty of other companies that are fighting to take that position. Warner Brothers is America's dumbest company. And they proved it with this. So I'm not going to claim to be the biggest Lord of the Rings fan. I'm not. I think the Lord of the Rings trilogy is, without question, the best trilogy to ever be made in movies. It is the best trilogy. And I say this with a bunch of other trilogies. I like the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy, Kung Fu Panda trilogy. Yeah, we can do that one. Toy Story, because there's 3 Toy Story movies and nothing more. I believe that the Lord of the Rings trilogy is the best trilogy without question. Of just anything, you know. The extended editions are the ones I will always watch, because you should never watch the theatrical versions ever. Watch the extended editions. It's an epic. It's a big, massive fantasy epic, and it does everything you would want in a fantasy. There's action, there's adventure, there's camaraderie. The villains are cool yet evil, right? So many memorable characters are introduced. You get to see people who are rotten to the core, evil. You get to see people who are a lot more complicated, and maybe they're a bit gray. Then you get like your full, true, good heroes, as well. They go across the spectrum. You get iconic moments and quotes. in that are still quoted today. The Lord of the Rings trilogy can never be beaten. The Hobbit trilogy, I know a lot of book Hobbit fans don't like that trilogy that much. I do like the Hobbit trilogy. I think the Hobbit trilogy is good fun. But I completely understand people if they're like, oh, it's not, faithful to the book. They kind of prolong stuff. It's like, I get it, man. All right? And you are well in your right to be like, it's not faithful to the source material. I get it because I'm like that, right? I'm a purist at heart. I want everything to be as faithful as you probably could. But I enjoy them, right? I have read all of the Lord of the Rings books and The Hobbit, like, once. So I'm not, like, a massive Middle-earth Lord of the Rings fan, but I'm a big enough fan to have rewatched all these movies multiple times, and no, this is not it, Chief. I was so excited for Rings of Power. I remember I got told about Rings of Power coming out about a year before it was officially announced. Said, this is the Rings of Power going to Amazon. I remember just, like, tentatively, they're like, oh yeah, a Lord of the Rings show is being made at Amazon that's going to be set, and show Sauron's first reign and how he was beaten and how, the One Ring was taken by Isildur, all that. And I was like, oh, that sounds awesome. I was told this on, like, the way home from school one day. And I'm like, oh, that sounds awesome. I can't wait. And then, you forget about it. And then you're like, the Rings of Power coming to Amazon. And I'm like, okay. And then I saw the trailer and I went, oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. And the Rings of Power has gone through, like, hell. They fired, like, actual Tolkien scholars. They've attacked fans. They had, like, that really awfully poorly done paid shill thing. They've pandered to the weirdos and freaks online. They've just, like, delved into, like, the shipping culture that's just butchered so many things recently. It's just awful. Season 3, we don't know when that's coming out. It may come out at the end of this year or next year. Who knows? There's talks that maybe Amazon will try and end it at 3, and then we don't do 4 and 5. Who knows? It's a massive failure, and I'm happy to see its downfall. Then War of Rohirrim happened, and I'm like, I would watch this if it's good. And I waited, because I'm like, I would watch this if it was good. A full-on anime-like Lord of the Rings movie set in the past, I'd be all for it. And I heard about, what the actual story was. I'm like, that sounds cool. I'd love to see a movie about that. And then I hear it's nothing but just girl boss schlock, and I went, great. Thanks. So, yeah, and then Hunt for Gollum gets announced, and I just go, did this need to be a movie? It's like, what, a couple lines in the book, and we're making a movie out of it? Like, guys, come on. And I was like, but then I'm, like, told, oh, Peter Jackson's coming back, and I'm like, okay, maybe. If it's good, cool, but, like, I'm not exactly dying to see this. And now this gets announced. What the fuck are we doing, man, right? And not only is it announced, this is a horrible idea. We've got an absolute fucking retard writing it. An absolute grade A, mentally deficient fucking retard writing this fucking thing, dude. Oh, it's gonna be insufferable. Now, as soon as this got announced, one of the first people that went into my head to see this was Nerdrotic. Gary is a massive Lord of the Rings fan. I got my Rings of Power coverage from him because Gary is a huge Tolkien fan, right? He knows so much about the lore and everything. He's super passionate about it. Hell, his background when he live streams is the fucking map of Middle-earth, okay? He's got Lord of the Rings tattoos on him. Gary is a huge Lord of the Rings fan. So I went to see his reaction, and it was about what I expected, which is, fuck no. And there's me. I said, please no. Oh, God. Here's Endymion. They're going to make Trump the bad guy somehow, isn't he? Oh, Stephen Colbert is going to do some sort of Trump allegory in fucking Lord of the Rings because this guy's a TDS-filled nut job. Dear God, creator and Lord of heaven and earth, our universe is defective. We'd like to return it for a replacement universe. His show gets canceled and he still gets work. Even worse, that work is the Lord of the Rings. This is a big fail upward moment for me. Is this hell? Are we in hell? We might be. We fucking might be. Then saw this one, which is Stephen Colbert is writing a Lord of the Rings spin-off. Buddy, he's gonna make Sauron Trump. What a fucking disaster. Let's take away this lefted mindset for a second. In what sensible world is it okay to give a late-night show host the job to write something from Tolkien's world? That's true. Take away the fact that he's a fucking retard, right? Boom, non-factor. Take the TDS. Boom, non-factor. Who the fuck in their right mind says, you see that late-night talk show host? Lord of the Rings. What the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with you? So let's look at some quotes from this post exactly, the Variety one. They're kind of funny. So Warner Brothers, what are you making? I'm just drilling holes last 2 weeks. Fuck it. Yeah. This might in fact be the worst idea anyone has ever had in history, says Matt Walsh. I'm not even doing a bit. This is the worst possible idea for a Tolkien movie, and it has made my quality of life worse. Critical Drinker, a bit early for April Fools, isn't it? That'd be funny if this is just an early April Fools joke. That's the greatest fucking name I've ever heard. Misgender. That's fucking awesome. What the fuck? It was like 15 9/11s. Thanks, Joe. Hollywood finally found the bottom of the barrel, says Chris Gore. Heavy spoilers. In case you hadn't guessed, Warner Brothers have to make a Lord of the Rings movie every couple of years or they'll lose the rights to it. Well, they had Hunt for Gollum. You were good. You didn't have to do this. Warner Brothers doesn't try to justify why Lord of the Rings should be an ongoing franchise anymore. They just look at the general audience like this. Are y'all looking forward to Sam's girl boss daughter? I sure as fuck ain't. Tolkien is flailing in his grave. I wouldn't be watching anything made by this propaganda puppet who danced around on stage singing about COVID vaccines. You never forget that. Never fucking forget that this fuckhead did the vaccine dance. What a fucking retard. Whoever came up with the idea to have a spin-off of a sequel to Lord of the Rings and to get Stephen Colbert to co-write it should be launched into the sun. This is so legitimately disrespectful to Tolkien and his legacy, I'm irate. Firstly, Colbert is a poser. He may know the names and the years, but he fundamentally misunderstands the message and the core of the story as it doesn't align with his worldview. Thus, the very soul of this project will be tainted with themes antithetical to Tolkien's work. Secondly, there are ideas Tolkien never would have even wanted. You can argue with The Hunt for Gollum that it's at least just telling stuff already in the novel, but a whole new secondary adventure when his appendices and his manuscripts in home already explain the lives these characters live, and peaceful ones at that. Absolutely not. This is a blatant disregard for lore, sure, but more importantly, this is a disregard of Tolkien entirely. Disgusting. But they were, all of them, deceived, for another Lord of the Rings movie was made. Very dark. This is about 100 times worse than even Rings of Power. High King Feanor, massive Middle Earth fan. So it's going to be War over Hiram all over again. You could do all kinds of stories from the appendices and do them accurately. One that I've said would be really suitable for adaptation would be a Balint failed expedition to Moria. But nah, let's just turn Sam's daughter into a girl boss and make up some shitty fanfic. Hopefully this gets canned once Hunt for Goober flops. We can only hope. Yeah, the Scream. Warner Brothers be like, how much money can we burn before Paramount takes over? That's something to keep in mind, by the way. This is not Paramount doing this. This is Warner Brothers. Paramount has not taken over them yet. I believe Paramount wants to accelerate it so they take over at the end of September. But for now, Warner Brothers still can make their own decisions. What does it say, Frodo? Oh, God. It's some form of liberal white woman. I'm stealing that one for later. Thank you. We're still getting Gandalf the gay. I'm gonna kill myself in front of Warner Brothers. I'm gonna make it bloody. In Minecraft. YouTube, in Minecraft. This will flop worse than any Marvel movie. Worse than The Witcher. I mean, it'd be funny if it did. The world needs cultural inquisition to punish anyone who pauses video games and book franchises. Want to make a diverse reboot? Kinetic action. MMO expansion with inclusive themes? You'll never work in the industry again. Jeff Bezos' Rings of Soy. Amazon contracts canceled. The bald bastard with his signature vacant stare and drooling smirk fined or in jail for just spoiling Western cultural heritage. We need to be serious about cultural hygiene. Even the Chinese have figured it out. Leftists know that polluting the the Aragorn is a surefire way to kill and despoil noble ideas, even if they don't know what an egregore is. I don't either, because I'm retarded. This is because there are virus-infected zombies who are programmed to spread rot. We care about sanitization of API keys, cyber credentials, and personal hygiene. Why not cleanliness of our myths? Why don't we protect the intangibles, which are the foundational fabric of every culture? Deep roots may be untouched by frost, but we have an entire class of dim-witted parasites digging them up and poisoning them. Apparently, it's going to be about the Tom Bombadil chapters left out of the Peter Jackson films. My prediction is Sam's daughter stumbles upon some section of the Red Book that describes the experience, and they go back in time. Bookmark this. Admittedly, the concept is interesting to me, and Stephen Colbert's passion for Lord of the Rings and his personal Catholic faith. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Seems to be the only things he doesn't have brainworms about, so maybe he can tell a fateful adaptation. Buddy, you're living in a fucking fantasy land. My outlook, though, is grim because nothing that comes out of Hollywood for the most part is the ability to properly capture light and truth unless it's by accident. You're living in a fucking fantasy land. Please stop Star Warsing my Lord of the Rings. Oh boy. Oh, of course it's M fucking Kenobi. Of course it's this fucking whore, dude. If you don't know, she sells pictures of herself online. And she's a massive shill. A massive retard for, like, all these companies. Of course she would be fucking all for this. Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. The single worst idea for a film I've ever heard. Everyone involved in improving this project should be arrested. The boomer habit of rehashing their childhood IP over and over must end here. There is no Godfather 4... or I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to be, because those stories are complete. So is Lord of the Rings. I don't know what that acronym is. Someone tell me in the comment. Let this be the hour where we chimp out together. This might just be the gayest idea of all time, says Tectone. What about an awful Lord of the Rings cash grab? We've already had an awful Lord of the Rings cash grab. We've had one, yes. What about a second awful Lord of the Rings cash grab? You thought Rings of Power was bad. You have not seen what I have seen. New Lord of the Rings movie. You have my interest. Stephen Colbert. You've lost it and given me a migraine. Hollywood wasn't satisfied with ruining the legacy of C.S. Lewis's Narnia. They had to go after his best friend Tolkien too. Let's not, please. I should not let this affect me. I should be immune by now. Even so, when it comes to Lord of the Rings, I cannot deflect these. Oh my god, cortisol spikes. Tolkien. I am tired. And sorry for blackpilling. I just needed to ventilate. Yeah. I get it. This is a travesty. Kind of rude to not get fired by Paramount. Kind of rude to set him up to get fired by Paramount a second time. Dude, imagine if when Paramount takes over, they immediately say, this movie's not fucking happening. David Ellison, if you want to prove to us all that you're one of the boys, you fucking cancel this shit. You already got rid of Starfleet Academy. And it seems like Alex Kurtzman's done at Star Trek. Buddy, you have the opportunity. Making actual adaptation of Tolkien challenge. Impossible difficulty. This is the same motherfucker from earlier. There's Steph, my nerdy home. This sounds like shit. What did your elf eye see? Breaking news. Aragorn, son of Arathon, will face charges for racially insensitive comment. Gandalf the Gay is yet to condemn Aragorn's hateful crime. No one asked for this. No one. Not a single person. Hey, Robot Head. Spoiler. As a subtle inside joke, Colbert wants to make the bad guy Donald Trump, and every page of the script is a long rant about how the orange-haired Donald Trump is evil. There is also a subplot about sending the orcs back to Orcmania. It's all clever and sophisticated. Holy shit, this is cringe. If this is true, I will burn LA to the fucking ground and salt the ashes. There's no possible way this turns out well. There are sentences being read that have never been read before. Lord of the TDS, yeah. I am a time traveler from the future. Arrest Stephen Colbert while you still can. Is this an early April Fool's joke? Can't this bitch just go sit on a beach somewhere? Dude, I would love it if he just fucked off, man. I really would. He's probably gonna go do a fucking podcast. That's probably what he's gonna do when his fucking show ends. Well, I mean, when his show ends, he's probably gonna go write this. But he's gonna probably do a fucking podcast. Him and the rest of those Strike Force 5 retards. No, absolutely not. The amount of Tolkien lore that's in this man's head, now he has the time to use it. He won't. He's not gonna do shit. He's not gonna do shit. If Frodo and Sam had just gotten vaccinated, none of this would have happened. Alright. It will not get made. I can only hope. But they'll lose the rights if they don't make this movie. Let them lose the rights. You're goddamn fucking right. Okay, so that's it for me. We've had some fun here. Yeah, this is a stupid fucking idea. Dumb as shit. Dumb ass shit. This is a dumb fucking idea. I can only hope that when Paramount takes over, they can this and just go, fuck it, we're out of here. That ain't fucking happening. And if you think they can't do that because like, oh, the movie would have been written and it would have been somewhat in production. Warner Brothers canned the Batgirl movie and that movie was fucking finished. They canned Coyote vs. Acme and that movie was fucking finished. Studios are not, it's not, rare for studios to stop production of something while it's in production, cancel it, or the movie's done and they go, fuck it, we're not even going to release it. It's happened many times. I can only hope something like that happens this time. Paramount, please God. So that's going to do it for me. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'll see you guys all next time. Take care.